Hi everyone, this is Aruna. Today we are going to learn a play called The Ecstasy of Rita Jo, written by George Raiga, a Canadian playwright. Before we go into the summary of the play, let's see some general facts about the play. This play has only two acts and it was premiered at the Vancouver Playhouse in 1967. That means it was shown to the audience as a play. And this play has a vital role in the Canadian theatre because it was the first play which dealt with the problems of Aboriginal people. Aboriginal people means people those who were oppressed and suppressed by the colonizers. Let's be familiar with the characters of the play. Rita Jo, the protagonist of the play, Jamie Pal, her best friend, David Jo, Rita's father, the magistrate, Father Andrews, the priest, Miss Donahue, she is the teacher, Mr. Homer, he is a social activist, Aileen Jo, Rita Jo's sister, then three murderers, an old woman, and four young native Indian. These are the characters of this play. Now the summary part. As the play begins, we see the magistrate enters the court and the court is in session. Now the court attender called Rita Jo for the trial and she is brought by a policeman. Meanwhile, the magistrate gives a small speech on the law of that country. Now Rita Jo enters into the court and she starts to explain to the magistrate that she has not committed any mistake or any crime. Instead of listening to the words of Rita Jo, the magistrate again speaks about the law and the power of having a strong economy. So when Rita Jo realizes that what the magistrate is talking has no connection with her own issues, she turns towards the audience and tells about her job in a tire company. After narrating her experiences in a tire company, Rita Jo falls back into her memory and she talks to Jamie Pal. Listen here. Jamie is not physically present in the court. Okay? All her memories are revolving around Jamie Pal and she recollects the time which both of them spent together. She is able to recollect how both of them shared their experiences in the city life, and Jamie Pal actually he wanted to become a great singer. So once when he sang in front of a group of people, the way the people looked at him made him to feel a kind of insult and he stopped singing. Then both of them discussed the plans for their future. Now the magistrate, we have come to the court scene, exact court scene. Now the magistrate wants Rita Jo to pay attention to the trial and he charges Rita Jo with a crime called vagrancy. Vagrancy means keep on moving from place to place without having a permanent shelter. But Rita tells the magistrate about her experience in the jail the previous night. And the magistrate raised a question to her whether she has already appeared in front of him for any other crime. Because he thinks that he has already seen her somewhere else. That's why he raised a question like that. For that question, Rita responds that she doesn't know anything about him or anything about that. And this reply made the magistrate as well as the policeman to laugh at her. Now, the magistrate gives her 8 hours time to find witnesses in favor of her. After receiving just 8 hours to prove her innocence, Rita Jo doesn't bother about it. Again, she falls back into the memory of her sister Eileen Jo. She tells the magistrate that Eileen Jo wanted to become a dressmaker and how much she struggled to lead life in the city. Now the magistrate recollects that he has seen the face of Rita Jo already during his visit to a countryside in the previous year. He saw a small girl around the age of 4 who just resembled Rita Jo, and the girl she walked all alone on the road with a barefoot. Barefoot means without shoes or slippers. So he asked Rita Jo whether she has a baby. But Rita Jo does not give him a proper reply. She gives the option to the magistrate himself. She replies him, "If you think so, let it be." But this answer irritates the magistrate. After giving him an abrupt reply, once again she falls back into the memory of her sister Eileen Jo. Now she recollects how both of them spend their time together in picking berries. So in her memory, a storm comes and Eileen Jo is frightened by the storm, and Rita comforts her as a mother. Then at that occasion, Eileen asked Rita sometimes if they lost in the storm, whether Rita can act as a mother to Eileen. I hope you are able to follow the story. I wanted to remind you again, this is only the memory of Rita Jo. Eileen Jo is not physically present in the court. Now the priest, the teacher and 4 young native Indian men entered the court. The priest asked Rita Jo about her life, how her life is moving on. As usual, she did not give him a proper reply. Now the magistrate asked Rita whether she needs a lawyer to argue or to save her from the trial. But Rita refuses to have a lawyer. Once again, she falls back into the memory of Jamie Paul. In that memory, Jamie Paul tells Rita about his new government job. Both of them are very happy. At that time, Rita Jo tells Jamie Paul, whenever she sleeps well, she always has a dream that she is picking berries with her sister in the sunlight. Then they hear a sound of an airplane and both of them look up at the sky. The sound of the airplane reminds Jamie about his mother. His mother used to tell him that whenever she is taken by a plane to the hospital, she will not come back alive to see him. That means the native people believe that if anybody is very serious or when they are struggling for their lost breath, at that time only they will be allowed to travel by the plane. In our area, we have a belief in olden days, whenever people receives the telegrams, they used to shiver because according to their beliefs, all the telegrams will be bearing a bad message about someone's death. அதே மாதிரி இவங்களும் பிலீவ் பண்ணுறாங்க பிளேனில் போயிட்டா they cannot come back alive. In our current scenario, whenever we hear the sound of an ambulance, we have a kind of fear, a kind of trembling in our mind. அதே போல தான் அவங்களுக்கும் whenever they hear the sound of an airplane, they think that someone is very serious and being taken to the hospital. Now the memory part is over. Now we can see David Jo, Rita's father, Eileen Jo, her sister, and an old woman all enter the stage. They also on the stage and they look up at the plane. Now Mr. Homer enters. Homer, remember the social activist? Yeah, he comes and he stands near Rita Jo and he addresses the audience. He speaks about his contribution to the welfare of the native Indian people, how he offers them food, how he give them dresses. All those things are explained by Mr. Homer, especially the helps offered by him to the native Indian women and kids. And he also makes a reference to Rita's mother. When her mother is sick, it was Homer who helped Rita's mother to go to the hospital by the plane. But Rita Jo does not pay any attention to the words of Homer. She is looking at the native Indian men. Now the policeman and the magistrate repeatedly call her, and the magistrate asks her for the last time whether she needs a lawyer to argue in favor of her. She says no. Then the magistrate reveals that Rita Jo is being accused of prostitution, and he advises her to go back to her reservation. If she wants to live in the city, she has to follow the lifestyle of the city people or the whites. But living a life of a native Indian in the city will bring her lot of problems, because Rita Jo does not pay much attention to her physical appearance, the way of her dressing, the combing of her hair. All these things will make her appear so peculiar among the well cultured and well groomed white people. So he advises, if you want to live the life of if you want to live in the city, follow the lifestyle of a city. But by following the lifestyle of a native Indian, she cannot lead a peaceful life in the city. And he also asked her, why don't you go back to her reservation and lead a peaceful life instead of staying in the city and facing so many problems?